Hey everybody, I have a really big announcement. It's so big, I felt like I needed to make a video to share it with you guys because the scope and my stoke for this project is just off the charts. So I was about to leave town for Texas, just to escape the cold of the winter, to have a change of scenery, to connect with some different friends, and to go work a regular 9 to 5 like I've been doing, and just kind of continue more of the same. And in that same week that I decided I was going to go to Texas, I went and I visited with a friend, and that friend expressed to me that he was really sad that I was going to be leaving. And so I kind of went into some of the other reasons that I was leaving, aside from just the cold and all that, which was that basically I have been feeling really aimless lately, and really disconnected from the people that I surrounded myself with, and like I didn't really have a purpose or direction for my life. And that tipped off what would become probably one of the most impactful interactions I've ever had with another human being. We ended up having a really intense, deep conversation that lasted from sundown to sunup the next morning and covered a whole range of just everything. And it took me about a week to just digest and absorb everything that we talked about. But by the end of that week, I felt like I'd found my purpose, I found my direction, and I found my way to connect with people. So for the last 10 years, I basically just wandered from one place to the next with no goal, just basically being a hedonistic, adventure-seeking tourist. And in that time, Moab has become this really special place to me. And all the people here have become really special to me. And each time I come here, which I always end up coming back, I found, and I end up staying a little bit longer, connecting with a little bit more people, and I've absolutely come to call this place my home. I love the people here. I love the culture here, but what makes Moab special, it's not the highlining and the base jumping and the skydiving and the mountain biking and the national parks and all the really awesome stuff this place has to offer, but it's the people. People make this place special. Everybody here has such an interesting story, and I want to explore those stories, and I want to share those with everybody. So, I mean, like, there's so many people here that have no idea, I'm sure, how much I admire them and how much I've been wanting to connect with them and tap into some of their energy and just stand close enough to their fire to feel the heat from it. So here it is. I quit my job. I spent all of my savings. I even tapped into my line of credit a little bit so I can build a new filmmaking kit. I got robbed a few years ago. I had basically all the essentials. It was really cheap stuff, but it was enough to make films with. But it all got stolen, and including my hard drives. And I had 4 years of a documentary I'd been working on that I never got to make because the footage was stolen. And that really killed my drive for like the last 7 years. About 7 years ago, I got robbed. I didn't have any desire to get back into filmmaking again or build up my filmmaking kit until this conversation that I had. And but my purpose that I found, that I want to share with everybody, my goal, this is what I'm going to be working on full time, completely committed for the next year, is I'm going to start producing a docu-series, these like 15-minute short films exploring all these different people here in Moab and telling their story and finding their character arc. I want to show people living outside of convention, people living with intention, people that have found their own unique path in life and found the true meaning of happiness for them. And there's a lot of those people here. So in addition to that docu-series, though, I'm going to be shooting supplemental footage with everybody that I interview. We're probably going to like record for 2 hours, like 50 questions, and just get all this coverage so I have material to go back to later to create several feature-length documentaries that I have planned. And I'll go more into those as time goes by. I don't want to give too many of them away, but I promise there's something everybody's going to like. But the reason why I'm making this first documentary is that I've seen a lot of documentaries that basically are in this same vein, where they talk about people living in their vans or living off-grid or living these alternative lives. And to me, they've all felt so surface level. They have all felt like they focused on the logistics of how. This is how I set up my solar. This is what my van build out looks like. This is my art space. This is my process for art. They go into the logistics, but none of them really go into the why. You know what I mean? Like, what's in your heart? What made you do that? Everybody gives you this Instagram version of this life, which is, you know, parties and beautiful sceneries and all that stuff. And it's not really like that. Anybody who lives this lifestyle knows there's a lot of sacrifices that you make, but you make them for really specific reasons because you want to live a life with intention. And that's what I want to show. That's what I want to share with people. I have been living this life for 13 years, and I have found immense happiness living this lifestyle, and all these other people I meet have found that too. And I want everybody to find that happiness, and I want to show them the path to it, and I want to show them the thinking that maybe goes behind living a more intentional life. If this is the type of project you think you'd like to see realized, you can support me on Patreon. I decided not to do like a Kickstarter or GoFundMe or anything like that. It's because I'm going to be relaunching my YouTube channel. And so if I divert everybody to Patreon, that's one way they can give me a contribution, and it allows me to give something back to you, which is exclusive access to content such as fully unedited interviews or behind the scenes footage, maybe some sneak peeks at a trailer, that kind of stuff. But if that's something you don't really want to bother with, like you don't have a Patreon account set up, and you don't want to set one up, but you got a Venmo and you want to just make a small contribution, thank you so much. I will receive any donations with immense gratitude, even if it's 50 cents. It's important to my process. I don't think money's going to be super important, but I know it's going to play a role. I need to eat and that kind of stuff. But I've done everything I can to keep my needs as few as possible. So I canceled my phone service the other day and went and got a hotspot from the library to save $50 a month on that. I canceled my Amazon Prime. My insurance has already been paid up for the entire year. So basically my only expenses are going to be gas, because I'll be getting food from the food bank. And some of my other friends are going to be helping me out as far as shelter on when it's really cold, and a place to shower, and a place to do my laundry. So I'm doing everything I can to keep my needs really few, so I don't have to put out too much of an ask for everybody. But truth is, like I said, I spent all of my money, all my savings, and even tapped into my credit line, and I still got about roughly $4,000 worth of gear I still need to get to really be where I need to be to capture this as beautifully as I want to. And also, I just found out my poor little dog has hip dysplasia, and he's going to need surgery. So it's another thing I'm going to be digging into here soon. So financial help will be very appreciated, but not expected at all. The goal is to try to be able to do this without having to ask anybody for anything. But if anybody's able to contribute something, it would mean so much. I went into this knowing I was going to make a lot of sacrifices as far as my own comfort. I knew I was going to have to make sacrifices in the way that I spend and the comforts that I'm used to having. But I know that it's absolutely essential that I do that in order for me to commit to this fully as a full-time job and put my everything into this. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my vision. And I really look forward to sharing not only my heart, but the heart of all these amazing people with all of you.